What's up? I bet y'all was wondering, y'all was going to see two people up here. Who is Mad Outdoorsman? Well, maybe I'm Mad Outdoorsman. Maybe I went just mad and crazy, man, and I just don't even know what the hell's going on. And, well, everybody, maybe I'm Mad Outdoorsman. But then again, I don't know. Hey, everybody. Mad Outdoorsman will be here in just a minute. He said he had to go poop. So no, um, hey man, I don't know, if a lot of people are watching the Super Bowl, doing things what they do. I'm just having fun. Wanted to just for just a minute be able to let some people pop in, say hi to everybody. Prepping artist, Beverly, Lady Smith, Tiger, Miss Prepping Plumber, my whiskey sister. Prepping artist, man. Oh, man, look at y'all. Montana Patriot, Cigar Prepper. Dadgum, boy, look at all y'all in here. Coffee First, 300. What's up, Hoggy? What's up? Killer Bunny. What's up? What's up, everybody? Beverly froze. Who froze? Did I freeze? I'm moving around. I see myself moving around over here on this screen over here. So anyway, what do y'all think, man? Y'all, we got 26 in here. Looks like it's climbing. Sherry Leach, Flying Run, Dusty, Mary. What's up? What's up? Sharon says, Miss Sharon says 5x5. Thank you, Miss Sharon. Well, what do y'all think, man? Y'all want to find out who this Mad Outdoorsman is, man? I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of curious. So let's get into this.
Goes back to putting yourself in a scenario when shit breaks bad and you do have to bug out. Okay? Basically, all you can really do is bring what you can put on your back.
And it's Mad Outdoorsman. What's up? What's up?
What is up? What's going on?
How are you?
It's going, man. Thanks for having me on, brother. Appreciate it. What's up, chat?
I think I've seen like a beaverine or two, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I saw some beaverines up in here.
Ohio, my sister. What's up? Sharon already said hi. What's up? What's up? Yeah, Ohio. So real quick, Mad Outdoorsman.
What's up, Sherry?
We're going to touch on this just for a second, just so to kind of help update with everybody and make sure everybody. What's up, Sophia? My sis, Tiger.
Sophia B. What's up, sister?
Waterwell guy. He's one of my neighbors, man. What's up, home? So, rescue. What's up? So, real quick, just to touch on it, there was everything that I know. There was another object shot down over Huron, or however you say the Huron.
Lake Huron.
Yeah, Huron, Lake Huron. It was on the United States side. That lake does reach up into Canada some. It was detected, from what I understand, on the other side of the border, and it came and it quick, and within 14 miles of it being on our side of the border, we shot it down. Nobody was hurt reportedly, yada yada. They said it was of octagon shape, and whatever, yada yada. Now, chat, everybody out there, and Mad Outdoorsman, if after we kind of do an introduction with you and kind of find out who Mad Outdoorsman is and everything, then we will If y'all want to, we can get into a little bit of conspiratorial things, man, with these objects
Ooh,
and stuff. So anyway,
tinfoil hat time.
so why don't you just give us a little quick rundown of just who the hell is the Mad Outdoorsman?
Who the hell is the Mad Outdoorsman? Well, the Mad
Yes, sir.
Outdoorsman, for one, is awake, fellas and ladies. I'm awake. But besides that, I consider myself a northern redneck. All right, I live up in what I call liberal paradise, New England. All right. Um, and I got into prepping back into the year 2020. So I'm relatively new to it, guys.
Okay.
My wake up call to prepping was the pandemic. Okay, and at the time I was seeing what was going on with the toilet paper wars. Everybody wanted to call it, and people getting
Right.
into fist fights at gas stations over gasoline and people going nuts. So I just took a look around, and that was my wake up call, And I said to myself, it's time to prepare, you know. And I got into prepping, and one of the very first things I did was I went to YouTube, because to me, the university YouTube, right? That's where you wanna. For me, that's where I go to learn about new things such as prepping, bushcraft, and stuff like that. And one of the first channels I came across was Prepper Nation. Right, everybody here knows who that is. And I started watching John over there, pretty much right from the get go when he started his channel.
Hmm.
So I'm what he considers an OG over there. And ever since then, I just been kind of doing it my own way, and trying to find like-minded individuals like myself that
Right.
have their heads out of their ass, and awake to the fact of what's going on.
Cool. Well, so the outdoorsman part. So
Mm.
we understand the mad part now, right? Because us
I'm a little
preppers,
cuckoo.
well, us preppers, we're crazy, things like that, a little bit. So we understand the mad part. Now, how about the outdoorsman part?
Avid outdoorsman. Been a deer hunter for several years. I go out every season and hunt there up in a property in the northern part of the state that I reside in.
Hmm.
All right. Um, and once I got into hunting, I got into camping, I got into bushcrafting, and I do a lot of what you call it solo winter camping. That's my favorite time of year to get out there in the middle of the woods.
Hmm.
And what I do is I train myself. I go solo winter camping for two reasons, guys. I number one, I do it because I enjoy the outdoors and I love it. But number two, I do it to train the mindset, right? I like to put myself in those uncomfortable situations and challenge myself, you know, for times that may be coming or most likely are coming, right? That are going
Hmm.
to be challenging for all of us, and it's like backwards, you and I were discussing this just in the backstage earlier. You can have all the prepping gear in the world, top notch, have a room in your house, an underground bunker with thousands of dollars worth of prepping gear and shit and food and whatever you want to call it, but you gotta be about it. You gotta be able to walk that walk and not
Right.
just talk the talk. So
Right.
yeah, I put myself in those uncomfortable situations, guys, to train the mind, to train the body, obviously, and that's pretty
So,
much what it comes down to.
so you spend 6 months basically at a cabin, like out like way out in the woods, right?
So it's actually a privately owned campground that I spend 6 months out of the year there. I got my own campsite that I lease with a nice 33-foot travel trailer. What I ended up doing to that travel trailer was I retrofitted a room in that trailer and
Hmm.
ripped out some furniture and made myself a storage room. And I keep most of my preps up there in that
So
trailer.
you
I don't keep them all up there because I don't live there full time. I do keep my
right,
preps where I live now. But it is a sort of a BOL, okay, a bug out location for those of you that might be new to
mhm,
prepping. But at the end of the day, I know that a campground isn't the most feasible place to go bug out. However, by the same token, I know that where I currently live now, where it's a highly dense, um, densely populated area, that's what I'm trying to say. I can drive an hour to this place and know that I can be okay for a few days until I'm ready to move on to my next spot, which would be out in the woods
right.
to my bug out locations that I have already set up out there.
So so awesome, man. I mean, you got a place to go if things get bad.
Yes, sir.
What kind of setup do you have in the way of, for like heat, for lights, your normal things. In the dark you got to have light to see, things like that. Warmth during the winter time, so forth. So how do you what all do you have there that could, you know um, be of service to you, should I say?
Sure. So the camper itself is all set. I mean, I've got propane. I've got a generator up on my site. Um, I've got plenty of extra blankets, and like I previously mentioned, I have food stores, I have ammo stores, and I do keep some of my weapons up there. Um, with that being said, though, guys, it all goes back to, well, you can't bug out to a campground because eventually all those city dwellers are going to be making their way out to the sticks, right?
Right.
So for me, I have what's on my back, and I know we're talking about bugging out versus bugging in. And I'm going to put it out there right now. Probably not the most popular thing, but I'm in the bug out camp, guys, because
Okay.
where I do live, it's in the city. I live in a small city, which is surrounded by water, and you have to use bridges to escape the city, to enter the city. So it's just not feasible. I do not want to be in a thickly dense and highly populated area. So
Right.
with that said, if I do have to bug out from the camper and hike out into the forest, which is very vast in my area,
Mm.
I will take the rucksack along with all the supplies that I keep in there, which includes a hot tent, okay, with a wood stove, plenty of fire starting equipment, um, water, purification objects such as like life straws and cookware, extra clothes, and stuff of that nature. So I'm as prepared as best as I can be to bug out and have to live off the land if need be.
I got you. So you're a bug out guy. I mean, there's still a lot of people, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that bugging out obviously has an advantage in the beginning. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on around, the city, and then it's going to start moving out into the more rural areas, where a lot of people are still live and everything, and then it'll move out from there,
sure.
and so, bugging out right at first, if you feel that bugging out is something you should do, then, bugging out early is going to obviously give you an advantage because you're already out there. You're out
Right,
there before
right,
most. You
correct.
see what
And
I'm saying?
just to add on to that backwards, if you are one of those folks that does live in a thickly populated area that's heavily settled, right? This is a decision that you have to make in a matter of hours. So let's just say, like, we'll use an example of it as an EMP strike. All right. Most folks at the beginning are really not going to know what hit them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're probably going to think it's a power outage, right? And they're probably just going to have some kind of block party or something, or fire up their grills and, you know, go through their 3 days worth of pork rinds and fish sticks or whatever they have in their cupboards. And, you know, guys like me, you know, or anybody else that's like minded like myself, and hopefully everybody here in the chat, you know, could probably jump on this. You know, an EMP isn't just about the lights going out. You know, your car's not working, your cell phones are not working, your mobile devices aren't working, right? So you pretty much know what's going on. So you know it's pretty much like, all right, I got a matter of hours before shit breaks bad, and I got to get the fuck out of
Right.
Dodge. You know, so
Uh, so
it's all about timing. I can't stress that enough.
so so bugging out and so what I understand about bugging out, what I feel like bugging out, is obviously, you're going to have to make come up with your own food. I know there's a lot of nature out there and things like that. How have you basically, like, for hunting, for meat, for your greens intake and things like that, for medical things like that, have you is there something you're studying or something you're looking at? Are you taking that into account and so forth?
So right before I answer that, I'm going to answer Sophia B's question.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
the plan is to get out of the city, Miss B. um, Depending on what kind of break bad situation we're looking at. You know, if it's an EMP, like if it's a total grid down situation, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm out. Okay. Um, Backwards to answer your question, sir. Common sense, brother. All right.
Right.
Common sense is half the battle. Um, you know, I know for a fact that if we're in a total like Mad Max scenario, all right. I actually read somewhere recently that if people start hunting the land and fishing, that deer would be extinct within like 90 days to 6 months. You know, which who knows? It could be some truth to that. You know, I don't want to bash on any of the younger generations types. I mean, I'm 44 years old, so I'm a Gen Xer. I really don't know if most people that are coming up in the younger generations would even know how to hunt or know the first thing about it. You know what I mean? But
Right.
whatever. That's my opinion. So with that said, guys, what I keep as a very important prepping item in my stores is seeds. You know, vegetable seeds, multiple kinds. You know, we're talking carrots, peppers, tomatoes. You know, those heirlooms. You name it. So I keep that. I keep a lot of those in my stores, and I keep in mind that I will have to, like, hunting and fishing would be a supplement to what I have. Okay. As
Right.
far as first aid gear goes, yeah, I got the basic first aid stuff, and I think that's an important item that is overlooked, in my opinion. And a lot of prepping gear, a lot of people don't really focus on first aid gear, but it's a necessity. It can be a lifesaver. You know, you get a small cut on your finger. You know, if you're chopping wood or something, that small cut could get infected. You can get sepsis from there on, and who knows? The next thing you got your digits falling off. So you got to take care of yourself when you're out in the wilderness. A lot of shit can go down when you're out there in the woods. So,
Yeah. I think that, well, first off, like, 300 had said, not everybody has the ability to bug out, and that's not what
correct.
he's saying at all. That's not what we're saying. This is just basically to ask him what he's doing, what his preps are, what who is Mad Outdoorsman, kind of thing. Why? Because I've been watching your channel. I met you over there at Nation, and I've been watching your channel and stuff, and watching your videos. Doing a little research on you and stuff, and you seem legit. So far, everything I can see, I liked a lot of your good videos when you were, talking about some of the things, the government stuff, you know what I mean, and things like that, stuff going on there and everything. So, um, you know, so with kind of getting to know you and everything, and seeing kind of what you're about, what you like to do, things, we know you like to hunt, obviously, be out in the outdoors, things like that, prepping. So I had a question. When did when did we, as a nation, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what's your thought process of the reason why we stopped teaching self-sustainability? Let it loose, brother. Don't be shy.
Globalist, globalism. It's everywhere. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, it starts in our schools, and unfortunately, I would, I got two kids of my own, but they're both adults. But I would really hate to be a parent of young children in today's world. Okay. And it's because of the indoctrination that is happening. All right. And then from there on out, you've got the government and MSM working hand in hand. They're in each other's pockets, right? I mean, and to me, it's all propaganda that the MSM is putting out there. Be Marines, all right? I see you, Robin. So with that said, I mean, we we have lost our identity as a nation, guys. Exactly it, Outcast. This is what they want us to be. They want us to be dependent on Big Brother, right? And they don't want us to be free thinkers and to think for ourselves. They don't want us to ask questions. All right. God forbid if you go against the narrative. All right, because if you go against the narrative, then you're a misinformant or you're an extremist, right? I mean, we
Or
all
a
been
racist,
told that,
or
or a
yeah,
racist, right? I mean, it goes
right,
on and on. It's just
exactly,
it's insane.
exactly.
It's almost like the Hunger Games. If anybody's ever watched the Hunger Games, I feel like our government is the motherfucking Hunger Games.
Right on, right on. That's what I'm saying, man.
Native,
Get don't
that's right, baby.
Hey, don't
Yes,
don't be
sir, Native.
scared. Don't be scared to lay it down, brother. You get a little excited. Hey, you can ask anybody in chat, man. If you watch me very long, I get excited. Well, I'll get to
Yeah.
cussing and hollering, acting all crazy and shit. So it's cool, man. I mean, show your passion, man. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just the non self sustaining thing, that has really been something that to me is almost as bad as what they've been doing with the showing the kids and the you know what I'm saying, the drag
Yes,
shows
sir.
and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
um so the next thing below that, to me, is the fact that we, our children, as a whole, not a lot of us here, but as a whole in our nation, our children has become, man, I mean, like, just so dependent on everything, man. They, most, still up into to 25, 30 years old, even after these 25 or 30-year olds move out, do you know that it's like an 80 percentile of these kids, around that age group, that their parents are still paying something valuable to them, like a car payment or light bill or rent or something of that nature. Their parents are still paying for their stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
but the economy's doing great, guys. There's
right,
no
right.
inflation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Give me a
economy's
fucking
fine,
break.
man. It's,
Give me a fucking break.
you know, the economy. Um, so what? So do you think that? Oh, by the way, what's up, Lazarus Unleashed? I see you, bro. I see you. Miss and Angela B. I see you. I see you. So do you think that obviously, which I think the indoctrination, how how they slid it in to be so reliant on the government, like it's a good thing now, like it's what I'm saying, like it's what do you think was some of the original causes of that, man? I mean, because we got to anyway, go ahead.
The original causes of indoctrination. I mean, you know, it's a good question. Um, because I went to school in the 80s and the 90s, and I I got friends of mine that have small kids, right? And they are pretty much passionate about what we're talking about right now, this indoctrination topic. And I got buddies of mine that tell me that they pretty much have to debrief their kids when they get out of school every day, debrief them and sit them down and say, "So, what'd you learn in school today?" Or, "So, what were you told in school today?" You know, and that's sad. And I don't can I pinpoint where it started? I'm gonna I'm gonna throw it out there, and anybody in chat that agrees and disagrees, I want to see your thoughts too. But I think it was after 2001. I think this country really started taking a turn and going down the toilet after 2001, and that's where we started seeing the indoctrination, the political correctness come up, the wokeness, the pussification of America, right? I mean, it all really started happening back after 2001, after September 11th. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah, there was a little act signed back then that helped out a whole lot too with that indoctrination and such, because it started getting to where we could start blocking things on social media a little more
right.
easily. You know, um, yeah,
I'm not even on social media. I have Twitter and that's it. I don't fuck with Facebook. I don't mess with that. What is it? That Instagram. It's just it's a bunch of nonsense in my opinion. You know, social media is garbage,
excuse me.
and it's what's ruining their society, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, what do you?
Last, I
So,
appreciate it, brother.
so basically, what what do you think is going to be what's going to be that moment coming up, over the next months, years? What do you think is going to be that moment that goes that a bigger majority of the country kind of wakes up and goes, "Oh shit," you know? What do I mean, false flat. I mean, is it, what do you think could be?
It's going to be when China invades Taiwan. And why do I say that? Here's the deal. All right, and let's talk about these spy balloons and these funny objects that have been flying around our airspace and all that. Guys, China owns us. Okay, all right. They've got thousands of acres of land that they've purchased next to some of them next to key military installations. That's interesting. All right. They've got these Chinese police stations here in this country set up under, I don't know who gave them permission to do that, to track Chinese dissidents that are, Chinese nationalists that are, against their country and rounding them up. All right. So why is this important? Why is China and Taiwan, in my opinion, going to be the turning point? Because, guys, listen, if we go to war with China, which could very well happen if they invade Taiwan, because our president, okay, air quote, President Joseph Biden has already stated his words that if China invades Taiwan, that U.S. troops will get involved. And once that happens, China being our biggest trading partner, okay, everything will be shut off, okay? And I'm talking about goods, all right? As Americans, we purchase more Chinese goods in this country than we do American-made goods. And that's sad, you know, and a big part of what we purchase from China, what we get, I should say, is medicines, right? I think I read somewhere that was 95% of the ingredients of ibuprofen that we receive are manufactured in China. All right. I'm gonna chop this word to shit, but I think it's acetaminophen. Um,
Acetaminophen. Yeah.
there it is. 70% of that, penicillin, and then countless other drugs. And then there's thousands upon thousands of things that we just use in our daily lives
Right.
that we get from China. So if we go to war, you think that's gonna still be going on? No, it's gonna be shut off, and there's gonna be massive shortages. Okay, and that's what's gonna wake people up, guys. The shortages, when people are running around going to the stores and finding empty shelves and getting bugged out in the supermarket parking lots, getting jumped for their groceries or what little they have. So I believe that a war with China would be that holy shit moment. So prepare now. Prepare now, because there's a lot of people asleep at the wheel. Don't sleep on China.
Right on. Right on. So what? So you think just basically then, as soon as they invade, they're probably going to pretty much shut down because I mean we're either going to have to defend or sit back and look like a bunch of wussies because we have a treaty to defend Taiwan and so forth and so do
Well,
you
I
think
mean,
that go ahead no go
okay,
ahead
we got
bro.
to look at Taiwan pretty much as the last non-communist country. All right, it's an island nation that's in that part of the world, and then you got the Taiwan Strait, which is located in the South China Sea, and that's of some significant strategic importance to Washington D.C. Okay, and not to mention that since Taiwan has become a sovereign, independent, democratic nation, okay, they have a vibrant and robust economy now. I think it's a $115 billion microchip industry that they have over there, which is the leading industry in the world. And I don't know if anybody suffered their way through the State of the Union address. I know I did, because I wanted to see what this, lack of better terms, ice cream man had to say. If anybody picked up on his part where he said he was going to start investing in microchips, I don't know if anybody saw that in his speech, but he started talking about building up our own microchip industry here in this country. And I thought that was interesting, because I said to myself, well, who has one of the biggest microchip industries here in the world? And it's Taiwan.
Right.
Okay. So it's food for thought.
This chat, man, it's YouTube's been acting crazy for everybody here lately. It's my chat was
100%
froze
made
up.
voice.
My chat was froze up for a minute and it wouldn't let me do anything, and then all of a sudden it just jumped. But so what would Mad Outdoorsman? Obviously, we know you're going to bug out, but if stuff starts getting real here, but are you going to? What if we need? What if there are? Okay, well, let's just say this to first off. Do you believe there will be boots on the ground from other countries, armed insurgent boots on the ground in America?
Whew. I think a lot of people don't think there will be. Okay. And I believe that people need to at least be prepared for that and not underestimate the fact that there could be. Um, I mean, look at our southern border. You know, it's wide open.
Right.
You know, we got thousands upon thousands, record numbers of people coming in every day. Who are they? You know, I think I saw a report on one of the news sites that I follow that there were people coming in that they were tracking or that they pulled over to interview, and they weren't even of Latino or Hispanic nationality. They were speaking Arab, you
Right.
know. So, I mean, that's fascinating, you know. So, boots on the ground. I'm being invaded. I mean, we already are being invaded, okay? And if the shit hits, maybe we already have sleeper cells here in this country. You know, maybe these people coming in through the southern border that is, quote, secured, you know, and under control, are setting up. Who knows? But yeah, that southern border scares the shit out of me, that situation.
Right on. What's your take on that? If with Alaska or Hawaii?
Well, I mean, Alaska is where they're at, you know, and Hawaii, I mean, we've already seen Hawaii in our history get hit. Um, it's a possibility, you know. But the thing is, with that, we have to look at our technology too. You know, as far as like a conventional invasion where ships are approaching our
Hmm.
waters, I mean, we'll blow those ships out of the fucking water as they leave their ports. You know, I think it's gonna be a little bit more underground, um, coordinated, like through our southern border. I really firmly believe it, and I think that if we start seeing shit like the Cuban Missile Crisis, you know, if we
Hmm.
start to see our enemies start to plant weapons batteries, okay, near our borders, like such as Cuba or somewhere like I'll just say Mexico or South America or whatever, close enough where we're like, hmm, you know, that's a little too close for comfort. I believe that's time to really start thinking about a possible invasion.
So, how do you feel though? I mean, like how do you feel about all these balloons and these objects and the circular ones and the elongated ones and all the crazies and all the stuff going on and all this stuff floating in the sky and we're shooting it down with thousands of dollars of rockets and
Yeah, and
scrambling everything. What's your list? I mean, just dive into it, brother. Just let it flow, bro. Let it flow.
what are we hitting? You know, what's the payloads on these objects? Number one, okay, I want to know what we're shooting at, right? Because if our military, and I've seen some crazy shit pop up, if our military can't identify what they're shooting at, why are we shooting at it? Number one, okay. Number two, who's sending it? You know, we know for a fact that China sent that spy balloon last week or a week and a half ago, and it entered up through Alaska and down through Canada, and then over the continental U.S. and it surveilled. I think it was 21 or so military sites and installations, including nuclear missile silos. So the question is, why? Why are they doing it? All right, and it goes back to what I said before. It's because China just thinks they have the mentality that they can. It's like that schoolyard bully, okay, that walks around picking on all the weaklings, you know, the ones that are going to keep their mouths shut, you know, and not hold the bully in check. All right. Um, how long has this been happening? You know, we saw something in the news recently that there were three spy balloons detected during 45's time in office, and then you know, you had people at the Pentagon come out and, you know, pretty much say, no, that's fucking bullshit. That didn't happen. But in my opinion, I think this has been happening for a long time, longer than we've been led to believe. I think that this spy balloon that was shot down off the coast of South Carolina last week was handled in a real fucking piss poor way. That thing should have been shot down as it entered our territorial waters off of Alaska. It should have never made it as far as it did.
Mhm.
And because of the media and national attention on this subject, it pissed a lot of people off and it got a lot of people's attention. So it could be a couple things. It could be our own government sending these things up saying, hey, see, yeah, we're protecting you. We're protecting our national security, you know, and it could be like a whole setup by the government. Could be, just a theory. All right. Or it could be China sending more of their shit over here. Your guess is as good as mine. But at the end of the day, I really believe that the whole point here is that this spy balloon mess was handled in a piss posh fashion. And now all of a sudden we're seeing more every day pop up and they're getting handled just like that. I mean, it fascinates me.
Hmm. So, oh, by the way, I did want to say, chat, if y'all got a question, put it in all caps and, or at least highlight me in front, at Backwoods, and then ask the question, if y'all have a question that you would like to know what Mad Outdoorsman thinks about it, um, and
Fire
everything,
away, folks. Fire away.
so, I kind of like to just get back into the little bit of outdoorsy stuff, hiking, like people, um, you know, because see the thing we need to all understand is that it's not necessarily just about bugging out. If you are 300 miles from your house, if you're 75 miles from your house and something really bad happens and you have to hike it home, you know what I'm saying? And there's no I mean that's like bugging out, but you're
Sure.
bugging out to make it back home,
Sure.
obviously, or whatever, but that's still a type of bug out location. I mean, a bug out scenario, correct?
Yeah. It's definitely an SHTF of your own. Yeah. I believe everybody should have a get home bag in their vehicle. I keep a get home bag in the back of my truck at all times. Um, and that includes food, water, fire starting equipment, shelter, first aid gear, and that's always in the back of my truck for situations like that, for being 300 miles away from home or whatever. So yeah, a get home bag is a good thing to have in your truck, And I made a video on that a little while back, and somebody commented, "Oh well, if you keep a get home bag in the back of your truck, somebody could break into your truck and steal it." Yeah, well, you know what? I could get in my truck tomorrow and fucking crash into a tree and die. I mean, it's
I know.
you can't think of the what ifs. It's just you have to do what's right to take care of yourself and to be prepared to the best of your ability. I mean, it is what it is, folks.
Well, I think a negative trait of people, of people in general, I think a negative trait is, well, what if? Well, it's a distraction. Or, well, what about that? Well, I'm not too worried about that. That'll never happen here. That negative, that whole negative surrounding. I think it's a natural, thing for humans. I think we need to really work on as a community as a whole of to get away from the negative thinking, to stop thinking that, well, that's just this, or well, that's not going to happen, or well, what if, what if I stand up here in a second, I fall down and break my leg? I mean, damn, I mean, so I think we need to, you know, I think that's what you were kind of, sort of, is we got to get out of that. We can't be just, sup arc living. We can't just be, we, we don't need to be negative.
Correct.
You know, all you can think, man, I've got thousand scenarios down here, and boy, I'm covered. You know, and then that 1,001 scenario happens. You know what I'm saying? And you're like,
Right.
holy. well, I never saw this coming, you know. So
Uh,
I think if you know, if people get out of that mindset, I think it will help out a lot. So Cigar Prepper had a question. So Mad Outdoorsman, what would be the trigger for you to bug out?
the trigger for me to bug out where I'm at in the city, um, a grid down, some kind of social unrest. And I guess that will go hand in hand, right? If there's a grid down, there will be social unrest and total lawlessness to follow. And like I previously stated, it's it's a decision that I would have to make in a matter of hours, and it's about planning, guys. Um, you know, for me, if I know I have to bug out, I already have my mapped out route to take. You know, I know when I'm gonna leave and how I'm gonna do it, what I'm gonna take with me, what unfortunately I'll have to leave behind, and that stretches as far as to my my loved ones. They know, like for instance, right now I'm in another state right now. I'm visiting with my daughter. All right, she's in the other room, and she knows that if there's a grid down situation, she's got the same mindset as me. That all right, it's time to go to camp. Even though I can't talk to dad right now and there's no way of me communicating, I know I need to gather what I have here and get the hell out of here. you know. So I'm glad that her and I are on the same page, and the same goes for um, my daughter's mother and my other daughter who was with her mother at home. They know that they need to get up there. So yeah, it would definitely be a grid down situation. I mean, we've all seen riots and protests occur after certain events have taken place in this country. Um, and would that cause me to bug out with looting businesses because I'm due to an event that has happened? No, not necessarily. I mean, I would have to pretty much keep an eye on it, keep an ear open to that, to really observe the totality of those circumstances. But
Right.
yeah, I think a grid down situation, a grid down event would be the trigger. And can
Let
I
me
say something real quick backwards?
well let me address this real fast.
Sure.
Super chat here. Tiger, thank you so much, girl. I love you. I appreciate it, and thank you for the for the kind words in the super chat and everything. And then there was a question here by Sophia B. But go ahead and say what you were going to, bud. Go ahead.
All right. So, what you were talking about the negative mindset earlier, and I 100% agree with you, brother. And I can't stress enough that if you're prepping, okay, and you're constantly thinking about the what ifs, and you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's and looking over your prepping lists and your escape routes and your bug out plan or your bug in plan, right? You're gonna fucking drive yourself nuts. All right. So with that said, guys, I believe that you have to have a good balance in your life, and you have to have that outlet. Okay. So that's where the outdoorsman part comes in. All right. For me, you know, my escape, my outlet is out in the woods, whether it's hunting, whether it's going on a 6 mile hike, whether it's doing an overnighter, camping out in the woods, or whether it's just sitting in my trailer, you know, you have to have that outlet, and you have to have those people around you that support you and that love you, and vice versa, that you love, and keep yourself occupied with that. It's not all about prepping all the time. You will burn yourself out, and you will develop a negative mindset if that's all you concentrate on all the time. All right. Sometimes you have to shut off. Right. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes you got to shut the devices off. Sometimes you got to turn the news off. All right. When you start to feel that angst, that anxiety kick in, and that holy shit, like I'm driving myself nuts, shut it off, dude. All right, shut it off, folks, and go to that outlet, whatever it is, whether it's the shooting range, whether it's the hiking trails, whether it's getting your nails done. I mean, whatever it is that works for you. All right. Have to have that balance in life. It's key. It's paramount. And it's healthy.
Right on. Sophia B would like to know, what is one skill that is overlooked, but it's really critical in your opinion?
Um, for an abstract, I'll go with an abstract skill, and then I'll go with a concrete skill. An abstract is common sense. If you don't have any common sense, everything else just fucking falls apart, right? I mean,
Right.
you have to have that mindset.
Right.
Um, as far as a concrete skill, um, homesteading, growing the ability to grow your own food, okay,
Nice.
and the ability to raise livestock so you can um, have that for another option for a food source. And I'll be the first one to admit, my homesteading is pretty much 0 to none. Yeah, I do grow my own food. You know, I don't raise any animals. I don't have that. I don't have any livestock, unfortunately. But I believe that homesteading is something that is a forgotten skill nowadays. You know, so the
So,
devastation of humanity that was coming. Yeah, it is native.
see, man, my chat just tried to jump and it went back down and went lower than what it was, where because I had him, I've got him highlighted over here, and it,
Yeah,
and it and it started to jump up and it went down way lower, almost disappeared. Man,
yeah. I got it up here on my device.
everything's going crazy, man. It's all good
Yeah,
though. Everybody just stick with it, man. Fight through
it's
it, man.
those it's
Adapt
those
and
spy
overcome.
balloons, man.
Adapt and overcome, man. Adapt and
That's it.
overcome.
Adapt, overcome, and improvise. It's those spy balloons. That's what's fucking with the chat.
So I'm gonna kind of jump back and forth a little bit, because I'd like to, dig into the mad outdoorsman, the outdoorsman aspect, and then, and
Mm.
then we're kind of going back to the mad part, as I kind of pointed it out earlier, you know what I'm saying? But so you had a camping video just here recently, and
Yep.
man, it was really cool, man. I found it very interesting, and I thought, hey, man, this dude's like doing the shit, man. And now you may have turned the camera off and ran and got in the truck and turned the heater on, but I don't, I'm just, but no, you know what I'm getting at, bro. Like real talk, man.
Yeah, I had a Motel 6 right through the tree line. You guys didn't see
Right,
that?
right, right on, right on. So, no, so you had this camping video, and I think it's what, about 3 videos ago or something like that, 3 or 4
Yeah, it was
videos
recently.
ago.
I went out last weekend.
Okay, yeah, like
Did
three.
an overnight.
So, tell us a little bit about that camping trip, man. For those that hadn't watched it, still go watch it, but kind of give a little rundown of the camping trip, bro.
It's fucking cold.
Right on. How cold?
Well, the feel like temperature was 23 below zero when I got there last Saturday. And
Shit.
to just back up a little bit, so right after hunting season every year, in my state, hunting season ends at the last day of January. So right after hunting season, what I do is I go and I do my solo overnight camping trips out in the woods. Um, and I do it again. I do it for those reasons. Number one, because I love the outdoors and it's my peace and it's my happiness. And number two, it's my training, and this is why I do it. And a lot of people were very concerned, a lot of my loved ones and the people that I keep around me were very concerned about me last week about going out there because we did have a cold snap hit, my part of the woods, and a lot of other parts I was seeing. And they were trying to talk me out of it. And I'm like, well, no, I'm going to go do it. This is exactly why I do this, because if shit breaks bad, number one, I want to expose myself to that uncomfortable situation.
Right on.
So a very interesting thing actually happened when I got out there. Um, my goal was to do some hot tent camping. All right. So
Okay.
I got myself a nice hot tent. I brought my wood stove out there and I set everything up. I processed my firewood after I set everything up, got a nice fire going. And before I go any further, I'm going to tell you guys something right now. I don't pretend to know everything. All right. I am not a know-it-all. I'm not an expert, and I'm never going to come across as that. I'm humble when it comes to bushcrafting, camping, even prepping. I'm still new to prepping, right? So I'm still learning every day. When it comes to the outdoors and to survival and what we do, it's a learning experience that never stops, right? And if you say that you know it all, then I don't want to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right on.
I
Right on.
I don't need you around me. So
Hey, let me interrupt you real fast.
sure.
Casey Little Owl, thank you so much, girl. Y'all know y'all don't have to do this now. And then also Betty Daly, thank you so much. Man, y'all are so greatly appreciated. Thank y'all so much. And everything. So we'll have a question after this from Native. And anyway, continue on, brother.
Sure. So before I continue, Casey Little Owl, how you doing, ma'am? Subscribing to your channel. I love your channel. You got some awesome content over there.
Very good.
But yeah, anyway, so I had a situation when I went out there and I had my tent set up and my wood stove set up. I had one of those folding titanium pipes, and anybody that knows anything about hot tent camping knows what I'm talking about. It's a thin piece of titanium pipe that is 9 feet long by about 8 inches wide, and you have to roll it up and take your time rolling it up very carefully, and then install it into your wood stove. Okay, well, I did that no problem. All right, so I got it rolled up and folded up and installed in a wood stove. Okay, got a nice fire going in the tent. It felt nice and warm in there because that hike in was a bitch. Processing that wood. I was sweating, and with those negative 0 degree temperatures out there, I knew that I needed to get a fire going with the quickness because I was technically in a survival situation, right?
Oh,
So as I'm sitting there in my hot tent, I'm looking at my little wood stove I got there. It's a Pamali brand, and I in no way, shape, or form affiliated with Pamali. It's just what I purchased.
Right.
And this fucker starts rocking back and forth off its feet. And I'm watching this in the tent, and I'm like, oh shit, what is going on, right? So I hop out of the tent and I'm looking up at the pipe, and it was kind of windy out there in the woods. And I'm watching the pipe go back and forth, back and forth. And I'm
Oh
like, oh
shit.
shit, this thing's about to collapse on me. So there was really nothing I could immediately do due to the fact that there was a fire going and that pipe was hot. I couldn't touch it. I didn't have any fire retardant gloves or anything like that. So I'm just like sitting there and I'm saying, all right, well, I'm just going to let this stove burn out and pray that this fucking pipe doesn't fall over or whatever. Well, I guess I didn't pray hard enough because that pipe did end up folding right in half.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Due to a big gust of wind coming through. And, luckily it didn't land on my tent. It went the other way. So I didn't lose my tent to any, my tent didn't get damaged, thank God.
Right.
So after I let everything cool down, I pulled the pipe off of the stove and I said to myself, shit, you know what I did not do? I didn't guy out the top of that stovepipe. Shame on
Right.
me, right? Because if I would have guyed it out, that probably would have prevented this pipe from folding in half like it did.
So explain to everybody what. So this is a good learning experience for someone that maybe have been looking at may have been looking at getting one of these pieces of pipe with their stove and everything. And so what is the fix for that? And so that we can learn, what I'm saying? Because that's what we do. We learn from our mistakes, if we
exactly it.
are smart, so
And
yeah.
exactly
So
it. And
yeah,
to add to that, I made sure that when I made my camping video, I documented that because I wanted everybody to see in that video, like, hey, you know what? It's not all what it's cracked up to be. It's not all perfect. Like shit's gonna happen. You're gonna run into situations where you have to adapt.
right,
You have to overcome and improvise, right? And that's exactly what I had to do. So, two things that I learned. Number one, the pipe itself was just too long for the stove and the tent setup that I had. It was a 9-foot pipe. And what I should have ended up doing was I should have bought a shorter pipe for that stove. They come in different sizes. They come in 9 feet, and they come in 6.5 feet. And I think there's another size they come in. So at the end of the day, I should have gotten a 6.5-foot pipe. That's number one mistake. That's my first mistake I made. Wrong size pipe, right? And the number 2 mistake was I did not guy out the pipe. Whether that would have made a difference or not, who knows? But
explain
I
what
didn't
that
guy
means.
it out, so there was nothing keeping it secure up there.
Explain what that means so that everybody can.
Sure. So what you do, what I mean by guying out, it's like, think about setting up a tent, guys, right? You got the ropes that come off of the tent, all those different ropes, and then you got the tent pegs, and one end of the rope is attached to the tent, and then the other end of the rope has that loop in it with it's called a taut line hitch knot.
Right.
Okay, that's actually what that loop's called, and it just adds tension or decreases tension. So that's when you guy it out. That's the term that you use to secure the tent or stabilize the tent. And that goes with anything that you're setting up. It could be like one of those pop-up canopies, or
So basically, you're basically, what you're saying is, to explain to everybody, is that you're tying off the pipe so that it has some stabilization. And
correct.
For everybody out there, this is why, for me, you can go down to any local hardware store, and in fact, Walmart, I think, actually has it. And what I did for my bug out bags, I have some clothesline, and my clothesline is the one that has the rubber coating on it, and I've got about 15 feet of that stuff in there, and it rolls up real nicely, and it fits in there. You can just kind of slide it down in there, and things can pack in it, and around it.
Nice.
Yeah, and so I use that because the clothesline with the green rubber, coating on it. If you will get that kind, you don't actually have to have pliers to to twist it up, and then you can untwist it. You don't have to cut it, and you can reuse it. So you don't have to cut links off of your wire. So anyway, real quick, Native Voice did a super chat, $10, man. Thank you. But says, it's went so far, and I'm having so much trouble, Native. If I click off, so let's do this so I can click onto it. So let me go back to the super chat. But Mad Outdoorsman, how much of the content you put on social media is geared toward prepping people for the eventual collapse that's coming into the entire world? Okay, so now real quick, Native, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And so how much on social media do you have? Social media platforms, and do you, other than YouTube, and do you talk about prepping?
I have Twitter, and that's all I have outside of YouTube. I do not do Facebook. I do not do Instagram. For me, that's garbage. And Twitter itself is a fucking cesspool, right? But since Elon Musk bought it, I guess it's gotten a little bit more of a level playing field. But there are still their scumbags out there. As my old man would tell me, your son is an asshole everywhere you go. What do I put up there for content to get people prepared? Joe Biden memes.
Right.
Licking ice cream and this and that, and but no, guys, in all seriousness, I don't really put too much up there on Twitter as far as preparing people. I kind of just, Twitter is my source of news, information, entertainment. I am Prepper Nation, and I do follow each other on Twitter. So if I see him post something up there, like an upcoming show that he's putting on or somebody he's promoting, I will retweet it. But that's pretty much to the extent as far as how I handle my Twitter account. I'm really just putting up a lot of memes and making fun of these jackasses that are running our government.
Native said he wants your Twitter. He said Twitter is fun right now.
All right, Native, I'll send you an email of my Twitter handle.
And Miss Sophia B, my sweet sister, beautiful lady, says, what is the message of your channel that you really want known? What's your message, man?
I just want people to understand what's going on and what's coming. All right. And that's my goal of my channel. All right. And I'm going to be straight up God's honest truth here, guys, you know, and I got the head of Jesus right here. All right. And I hate to really go that route, but I'm dead serious. I'm not here to make any money. I could give a holy fucking shit about making money on this platform. All right. My message is just to hook up with like-minded individuals like yourself, backwards, like you, Miss B, Native Voice, Hutch. I don't know if he's in here. Preparation. Okay. And to engage with you guys, shoot ideas at each other, get into critical thinking conversations, you know, debates, even if we have to go that route, you know, and just to bounce ideas off of each other and learn, to make friends, you know, and to just form a community. That's really the purpose of what my channel's about. You know, everybody has their own ideas and personalities and their way of looking at prepping or survival, you know, and I'm very interested in engaging with other folks that share that mindset with me. That's pretty much what it comes down to
Right.
with my channel and my videos. And yes, to wake people up, obviously, you know.
Y'all, and by the way, just once again to let y'all know, as we all know, my chat over here on my StreamYard is freezing up and it's not letting me do things a lot of times, but I've got YouTube on over here and I can see the chat. So I see some stuff here. And Robin Prater, thank you so much. I mean, it's awesome. Says, hey, my brother, Backwoods finally made almost the whole show. We all need to band together and take our freaking country back. I'm tired of this bullshit. Damn. I'm with you, sis. I'm with you. I'm with you. And Native was saying something about joining forces on Twitter and yeah,
You know
awesome.
that's right. You know that's right.
Y'all start ganging up on folks and stuff, man. So let me see. Let me get it here. Sorry. This dang chat screwing with me. Just go ahead, man. Continue on. Talk to us, man. I'm trying to get this chat to do something for me so I can bring people stuff up.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just about, you know, going back to the message that goes out there. It's just to wake people up, you know, keep people informed. You know, I don't get my news from the traditional outlets that most people do. You know, I don't sit there at night and watch the NBC nightly news and, you know, all that nonsense. You know, I get my news and my information from independent media sites. And there are times that when I make my videos, I will put them in I'll drop the links in my descriptions, you know, and I have found that these independent media sites are like 10 steps ahead of the MSM. You know, it's crazy. But because, you know, you'll read a particular story and then like a couple weeks later, you see like Fox News talking about it, you know, MSNBC. And I watch all those also, you know, because I want to see what one side's talking about versus the other. But to get my real information, I do look at the independent owned media sites, you know, because they don't have anything to lose. They don't have too much stake in the game here, you know. So those are some of the best journalists, in my opinion. You know, so I would implore you to check out independent media sites, news sites.
I think most of the people here that I've been
Probably
seeing,
do. Probably
yeah,
do.
it's pretty much because I think what the mainstream media is doing today is
Propaganda.
they're paying attention to these alternative media sites, and they're starting to get. I've noticed they're starting to announce things quicker. You know what I'm saying? Like they're covering controversial stories. You know, you're seeing, you know, a lot of independent media going on, you know, about this report and that report. And it seems like I have noticed a little kind of increase, or, you know, a quicker response from the mainstream media. I think they're getting it. You know what I'm saying?
What?
I think they're still a long ways, but I think they're starting to kind of pick up on what we're all putting down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they're starting to realize that these conspiracy theories are all coming true, right?
Well, yeah,
So I
not only
mean,
that, but I mean, you start getting some of these really big people, you know, like a Ben Shapiro, or you know, some of these people, you know what I'm saying? Some of these really big people, Russell Brand, you know, has six
so
million followers, dude. You know, these people, when they do a show or a live stream or something, you know, or talk about, man, they're like smoking the mainstream media. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
yeah,
just killing them, man. You know,
yeah.
so
Um,
you know, like I said, y'all, if y'all have some questions, some things y'all'd like to hear his opinion on, you know, go ahead and ask.
yeah,
And
fire away, folks.
right, you say you ready? You ready?
I'm
I
ready.
got one for you. I got one for you.
Shoot.
AI technology. What's your thought process? Good, bad, both. You know,
I don't know.
evil.
I grew up watching the Terminator movies. So there you go, boss. There you go, boss. AI. I mean, I think it's nothing good's gonna come of it. I mean, I don't want to start saying too much stuff here for obvious reasons. I mean, we know what platform we're on, but
And what part are
I
you?
don't want to talk about mind control devices and all that fun stuff. You know
What
what I
what
mean?
part?
But
Hold on. You now I'm gonna introduce you to who is Backwoods. Let's find out. Are you talking about the brain implants and stuff that they want to implant in people that can hook to the AI? Or are you talking about how they are making these robots and these robots that actually look human? And or how about the baby pods over in Germany? You know, the same place where they wanted a one race domination anyway, the perfect kid. Just so happens here, so many years later, all of a sudden, bam, boy, we got a pod babies. And bro, don't be scared. This the only thing, honestly, on that I see that YouTube really hit you is about medical stuff. So let's just
yeah,
kind of stay away from the medical
yeah,
shit. Let's stay away from the medical stuff.
yeah.
Because I mean, it's like, one of them things, man, that YouTube don't like. And it's really
No,
funny
that's right.
because I don't like it either. But anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead, brother.
Those baby, those baby pods. You brought that up. I did read about that. That's some fucking disturbing shit, dude. I mean, to make like this perfect person, that is like some kind of elite being. That um, is that what they're going to replace us with? I mean, are we going to end up being replaced by this whole new species of these um, perfect beings? I It's mind-boggling what is going on with this AI shit. And that, yeah, I did read about those baby pods, and wow, that's all I can say.
It's
And
kind of
it's scary. It's a scary direction where we're going with AI, and that's just one example right there.
right, right. I know I'm taking us all over the place, y'all, but I'm trying to do some interviews. I'd like to do some interviews with some more people in the near future, and I want to keep it like mixed up, and you know what I'm saying, and I don't want to get stuck like on one topic and talk about it for a real long time,
Yeah,
and everybody kind of gets bored with the topic. So I'm kind of mixing it up, and we might go back to some of the other topics as well, especially if you know, chat happens to be, you know, so inclined, and you know, for the chat, you know, again, you know, if y'all got something y'all want us to talk about or want to hear from him, let us know. Like I said, let's stay away from the medical stuff, because you know the medical stuff is not good. YouTube, right? Medical stuff is bad for you. Bad for you. Anyway,
I see a good question on here from Miss
Monique.
Sophia B here.
Yeah, hold on,
You go
Monique.
ahead,
Thank
sir.
you,
Go
sis.
ahead, sir.
Monique. It, Goodbye and have the time. Tell the northern lights to keep shining, boy. And I'll tell you what, northern lights. Yeah, I see. So Miss Sharon, real quick, can you mention your area, or would you rather keep that private at this time? It's cool either way, bro.
Well, like I said earlier, you know, I try not to. I don't want to really upset myself here, but I do live in New England, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of liberal fucktards,
Right.
and I will keep it at that. Yeah, like I said earlier, I live half of the year I live out in the city with my girlfriend, and the other half of the year I do live out in the woods on a leased property that I have.
This dang thing,
Um,
it jumped. I was just fixing to click on
there
it,
it
and
is. Yeah, there it is.
it just jumped away. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Go ahead.
Um, I want to get more into growing different types of food, Sophia, and eventually get to the point where I can start doing some homesteading. Um, I'm a handful of years away from actually purchasing my own property in another state, um, where I can actually have a decent amount of land. And, you know, I want to try to raise some chickens and some other livestock and get a good, decent garden going. But yeah, homesteading and gardening is something I'd really want to focus on as time goes on. Much
Okay.
solo camping do
So,
you have?
well, real quick on on that, the homesteading and thing, you know, because you had mentioned, you know, your bug out was kind of your thing. So, and then you were mentioning that, you know, that you had a place that was rented as a kind of
Yeah,
a campground, and
yeah,
that was
yeah.
going to be kind of a fallback location, but then you might have to fall back further. Have you
Yep.
thought about, you know, how you're going to put the two things together? You know, like, do you think you're going to try to find some property, let's say, and go ahead and homestead, right? But then still have a different fallout location, or are you going to try to use the two, you know, to kind of start building a homestead to your last fallout location?
Sure. So the purchasing the land in a homestead, you know, is
Mhm.
pretty much my end goal for me. So with that said, am I going to put all my eggs in one basket? And if the shit hits, am I going to bug in to that homestead? The answer is a hard no, guys. I want to always have a plan B. And that's just me, you know, and that doesn't, I'm not going against anybody that chooses the bug in option. You know, I respect it.
Mhm.
But I always like to have a plan B to go to, you know, and if that's going out into the woods for a little while or whatever, for however long it takes, then yes, I will do that.
I Okay, I see a cigar, and I think it was a couple more here. Okay, so how about this? You know, Mad Outdoorsman, you mentioned solo camping. So, children, wife, whatever. What?
So have I rough camped with my kids and wife? Katie, have we ever rough camped? I got my daughter over here in the back. Yeah, we have some crazy tenting days, as she says. Um, Not to the extent that Miss Sherry Leach is asking. No, I have just done that myself. Um, Rough camping would be setting up a lean-to tarp shelter in negative 20-degree weather with a long fire about 6 feet away in front of you. No, I've only done that for myself. Goldfish is still dead backwards.
So, just
Sounds
real
like an
quick,
inside joke.
Gma Merkel, I tried to tell you earlier today, you weren't supposed to take the goldfish out the water. The goldfish would have been more comfortable sleeping in the bed with you if you would have left it in the bowl. Just saying. It's just me. We're messing around, me and G Mall. Um, let's see. Let's get modern day genocide, eugenics. Boy, that ain't no bullshit. Jesus. So, what's one skill you would like to learn? Sophia had asked.
Yeah, it's like I said,
Homestead.
definitely homesteading and growing my own food.
So
I like
it's not necessarily just one particular thing. It's the overall of homesteading. Because
correct.
that
Yeah,
obviously homesteading is multiple angles.
absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
And I would definitely is in my end game. I definitely want to start gearing myself towards that path of
Right.
homesteading at some point down the road. Definitely. Yep.
Yes and no. I'm gonna say a large portion of them are gonna not stay away from the medical stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to. I mean, they didn't stay away from that. They didn't stay away from anything. They beg for more. There's a bunch of them out there. Give me more, sir government, please. Give me more. You know. I mean,
Imagine if it's in our drinking water already.
or in the food like they're talking about.
Just saying.
Maybe it's already there.
Wouldn't that be a
Maybe,
pisser?
maybe that was actually what was in the Chinese balloon, and we just didn't know it, and we're all breathing it in. Let's see. I like messing around. I like playing. I'm just trying to this chat, man. I'm just trying to catch up and make sure. I thought I seen something else. I might have. I'm sure the 300. They're talking about a bunch of stuff here in chat. I'm just looking over chat because guess what, y'all? If y'all awesome freaking people in chat weren't here, we'd just be two old outdoorsmen crazy folks sitting in somewhere just talking.
It's
You
all
know what
about
I'm
the people in the chat. I mean, this is what makes this. So thank you for being here, folks. I appreciate it. I appreciate you backwards giving me the opportunity. I appreciate everybody here with the questions and the comments.
How many preppers are sharing their land besides me? Well, outdoorsman, I mean, it's like a camp. I guess you are saying basically you don't actually own any like real land. Um,
No,
you know what I'm saying? But you do. You are kind of in on something like that if you're renting a campsite that
yeah,
that for several months out of the year. I would assume it's a yearly thing you have to
it
pay.
is.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't own enough land. I mean, if I move somebody in the backyard, man, they would have to sleep with the chickens, man, because I barely got room for the chicken pen. I don't, so I don't know. 300. That'd be up to whoever wants to answer that question,
Yeah.
because I know I don't. Gmail, I love you too, girl. Shoot, we just we like we like we like to go at it, man. That's just kind of what we do. Ain't no big thing. Okay. Hey, there's a good one right here, but um, now I'm going to be boiling water.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Okay. Well, all right. But what I wanted to click on this. Okay, I wanted to or go off of this comment right here.
Yeah.
Check this out. What kind of what's your thought process on the water filtration, and what are you doing about water filtration?
Well, when I'm camping out in the woods, I make sure I set up next to a water source, and that's where I collect my water. You know, there's a nice stream. There's plenty of streams that flow through the area, and yeah, I definitely boil my water between 1 and 3 minutes to purify it to get any bacteria out. And I would encourage anybody to do the same if they're doing that kind of camping. But as far as water filtration goes, do I have any like catchment systems or anything like that? The answer is no, I do not. You
Well,
know?
so you don't carry like a life straw or a sawyer or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I do. I do keep a life straw in my bug out bag and my get home bag. Yeah, I
Okay.
do that. You know, but I don't have anything sophisticated outside of that. I saw you had a water catchment video that you set up a while back, didn't you, Mister Backwoods? Yeah,
Right.
I don't have anything like that. Uh, and
Well,
that's the
some
thing to think about when you are living in a city. Is water. Right? Because if going back to a total grid down situation, what's the first thing that's going to be shut off? It's going to be the utilities. And the utilities includes your water. So that's something to consider and think about. So yeah, do I keep cases of water in the apartment as part of my preps and my stores? Yes, I do. But at the end of the day, I know that this is just a temporary situation, and it's going to be a matter of hours that I'm out the door.
so you Virginia roots, what's happening? So basically you live in an
Tennessee
apartment,
Tacticals in here. What's up,
huh?
Tennessee? I'm
Yeah,
just saying
TT
hello to Tennessee Tactical.
TT1. So you do live in an apartment at this time, and so but you do have a location that you go and stay for 6 months. So you're only in the apartment for basically 6 months then.
Yes, sir.
And so with all that, and what's your plans on like a time frame? How soon of a time frame do you think that you feel it's necessary to be getting something like away from apartment, because I'm assuming that you can't stay in an apartment by your bug out situation and so forth. So
So we're talking about an SHTF bugging out. Like how
no,
long?
no, no, I'm saying what's your in your own feeling, in your own estimation, this homestead thing, how long do you think you have to start this homestead, or to make a serious move
Okay.
towards the homestead?
So I do own a house. Okay. My ex-wife lives in a house, and I still pay a mortgage on it. Um, and I have a handful of years. I think it's 8 or 9 more years left on this mortgage. And once this mortgage is paid off, hopefully, if there is still a world in 8 or 9 more years, or a country, that's when I will be making my move. So,
Keep talking, brother. I got to go take care of something. It'll take me just a second.
all right.
Just just
Oh,
give me
all
just a
right.
second.
I'm taking over.
It's
I
all,
am
it's
taking
all
over,
good.
folks.
Take over, man. Show them about some Mad Outdoorsman, man.
But yeah, it's like I'm saying, it's I have other obligations, that in my life right now that I have to take care of, and once I get that stuff squared away, um, my goal is to purchase a property and start doing my homesteading gig and my growing my own food. And I did see a question back here. I think it was by 300 way back. What state would I be doing that in? I'm looking at like New Hampshire, possibly Maine. I like New Hampshire because of the tax situation up there. There's, you know, where I live, I don't want to stay here because of my pension. My pension will go a lot further in a state like New Hampshire because of their taxes, the way they have that set up. So hopefully New Hampshire, probably north of the White Mountains. I'll be looking to purchase my property.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome, Paradise. That's kind of what he and I have actually been talking for a pretty good while. I've been looking into maybe shouting him out, doing an interview with him, kind of help him get going, kind of thing. Hey, my chat is like completely frozen. There, whoa, there it goes. Whoa.
Mm.
Um, and so I've been looking, at your videos and stuff, and kind of, checking you out and everything, and I felt that you would be a good one to introduce to a lot of the people that are not the Beaverines, that are not, what I'm saying, and so we can just try to all keep trying to bring the community together a little more and a little more and a little more,
That's
because
what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Miss Paradise Acres is a beaverine. I've seen her in Nation's
yep,
chat
yep,
all the time.
right. Yeah, and I mean, the more of us that we can bring together, the better off we're going to be. Obviously, that's a no brainer. Just looking at the chat here. Have you got anything, man? That was kind of the questions that I had for you. Just kind of bring you up here, and we've been on for an hour and a half, and just trying to see, what you're about, and try to get you introduced to more of the community, and everything. And so, have you got some upcoming stuff, some videos? Tell us how you come up, and why you know what I'm saying, how you come up with your
Sure.
videos, or whatever.
Sure. So, I mean, like I said, I go back to my independent news sources. I follow a lot of prepping news sites, stuff like that. For me, I have to, I see, like, there's a ton of shit you can talk about. You could pick any story out, and it's like, oh, wow, I could talk about this and I can make a video about it. But for me, I have to be passionate about it. I got to feel it in order to talk about it. And if I'm feeling it and I'm passionate about it, I'm going to throw it up on the tube here. Because yeah, there has been, and I'm new to this, guys. I just started my channel within the past not even year, you know,
Right.
and I have made videos about particular, stories, news stories that pop up. And I go and I look at the video after and I'm thinking like, oh, should I post this or not? No, I'm not posting this. And it's because I wasn't passionate about it. I was just talking about it to talk about it. I didn't feel it. There was no passion there. So that's what you're going to see. You're going to see 100% real, real talk. All right. You're going to see me getting mad. You're going to see me getting excited. You're going to see me filled with emotions talking about what I'm talking about, And yeah, I'll jot down notes and I'll pick out bullet points off of the articles and I'll read off of it if it captures my eye or if I think it's of significance to add into it. But a lot of it is my opinion and my own thoughts, So, and it's no filter. All right. So I'm a very matter of fact type of guy, and I'm a straight shooter, and
Right on.
that's just the way I roll. So
So,
upcoming videos, that's what you would see in my upcoming videos. Yes, there will be more solo winter camping videos I'll put out there. When my camping season does open up out at my campground, I'll probably make some videos up there, do some campfire talk.
sweet.
I'm trying to get like creative with my content. So I think I want to do like campfire talk, maybe get some live streams going with that and just talk
Cool.
about whatever, you know, kind of like
Cool.
what we're doing now, just hanging out.
So, Dire Prep asked, what is, in your opinion, the most underrated prepping device? Prepping
Uh,
item, device, anything, that you think is underrated?
Underrated versus overrated. Like underrated where people like kind of sleep on it and they're like, oh, I don't really need it. If I'm reading this question correctly. Um, I do. I think it's first aid equipment. You know, I really, I adamantly feel that you have to have the adequate medical supplies, and not only just the supplies, but the know-how. Right? And I'm blessed with the profession that I work in. that I have medical knowledge. Well, first aid knowledge. I don't want to say medical knowledge because I'm not a doctor or a nurse or nothing like that. But
Right.
I am a first responder. So, and I work in public service. So with that said, I have to go through training once a year for like CPR, and first aid, how to apply a tourniquet, all that fun stuff.
Right on.
So I believe that, yeah, you can have a whole kit, the whole kit and caboodle, and it goes back to how we opened up, right? Backwards. You gotta be able to walk the walk instead of just talking the talk. You don't
Right
want to
on.
buy all this shit and be like, oh, this is nice and fancy, but how the fuck do I use it? You know?
Right
So
on.
yeah, first aid, yeah, definitely. First aid supplies
Okay.
is underrated in my opinion.
All right. All right. All right, y'all. I think we're going to Teresa, oh yeah, I had asked, are you going to try to come to the meetup that Native and Ghost is having? And there's probably about 40 of us going. And it is in North Carolina at Pilot Mountain.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard Native talking about that a little while back. Yeah, I would definitely be down to do something like that if I can get the time off of my job. Like I said, I'm a first responder. I work in public service, so it's challenging to get the time off. But if I can, absolutely down for it. Believe it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I'd love
Y'all,
to meet some people in person.
y'all, I think we're going to call it a night. It's Sunday night. My job, thank goodness, or the one of the businesses that I do work for gave me a whole bunch of work on Friday to start this week, and I'm grateful. Thank God, I can use the extra work right now and everything. Mad Outdoorsman, bro. Thank y'all. If y'all can um, throw up his channel one more time, and y'all go and check Mad Outdoorsman out. I think he'll be a good um, asset to have. A good person to watch the videos, to listen to. Mad Outdoorsman, POTB has some things called War Game Wednesdays,
I've seen
and
that.
yeah, well,
I think he was on with KC a little while back, right? It was early this week.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
know,
saw
might
some
we
of that.
might
That
we
was
might
interesting.
see we might can see if we can mess around and try to get you up on one of them, man, and just see how you think, man, when it comes to like getting down on the scenarios. You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
yeah, I'm down for that. I love
You,
love me a
you'll be
little bit of
ready.
war gaming.
Right on, right on. Wargaming. Awesome stuff. Thank you, mods, man. Thank y'all for those that donated, super chatted, man. I sure appreciate y'all so much. I swear, um, man. Just everybody, keep your head on a swivel. Um, just pay attention. Don't
Yep,
think everything is a distraction. Just that's all I'm
100,
saying. And
100.
if you really think it's a distraction, then go and find that distraction and see what the hell's going on. Research for yourself, people. Love you
Get back
guys.
to me. Yeah, appreciate talking to everybody here. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the comments, folks. I'll see you on the other channels.
Remember, when you prepare your mind properly, things will fall into place.